It's been a year and a half since I last imbibed a drop of alcohol. So you may wonder, what's sobriety like? Well, I'd like to answer that question with another question. Is this what I was so afraid of? Because I've come to realise now that that's a lot of what fueled my dependence on desoberising agents like booze. Fear. Fear that my life wouldn't be the same without it. That a little bit of colour and excitement would be drained from my existence. Fear that I would never enjoy a sunny day in the park with my friends, or a holiday to the coast with my girlfriend, or the feeling of leaving work after a long and challenging day, or a football match on a weekday evening to the same extent, ever again. I was terrified that with a clear head, my negative thoughts would be unbearable, that memories of mistakes and heartaches would eat me up, that regrets of the path not taken would weigh so heavy on my shoulders that I would be flattened to the floor. All of these worries just turned out to be fabrications of my own mind, delusions that I was selling myself in order to carry on doing what I was doing. And that last fear that I mentioned is a pretty fucking ridiculous one when you really think about it. Alcohol's a fucking depressant, so by design it's going to increase gloomy thoughts, and of course, since I've quit drinking, I no longer have to worry about the fear. That pervasive and all-consuming morning after feeling of dread and desperation as you search your mind for some clue as to what you did last night. Who did I offend? Oh, who did I befriend? Which long-term relationship is now lying forever in tatters this morning? I certainly don't miss that feeling, nor do I miss the hangovers, which had increased in ferocity in the years before my abstinence. And while all my fears were proven false, and the exact opposite is pretty much true, I enjoy summer days and holidays just as much, if not even more now, that I am present and pleasant during them. And me being pleasant is the most important benefit that's been gained from this, as towards the end of my drinking days, it was having the worst kind of effect on my mood. I was so angry and irritable, ready to blow up at the slightest perceived offence, and my girlfriend was the most frequent recipient of these rages. Some slightly bizarre issues which I didn't foresee have been thrown up. First of all, when socialising with my peers and past drinking buddies, they seemed to be a bit insecure at my nonchalant refusal of a drink. I remember one occasion particularly well, when I met up with some of my colleagues and pals for a poker night. They were all getting rat-arsed at a serious pelt, and I, naturally, was not. Now I'm pretty decent at poker generally, and miles better than the bunch of donkey fish amateurs I was playing with that night, that's for sure, but having a clear mind meant that I was absolutely smoking them, which seemed to piss them off. "It's not fair you're not drinking," or "You've got an unfair advantage," they moaned, until one of them finally says, "You should just get drunk, man, this isn't fair." Now I'm sure this was meant in jest, but I don't really think it's right for them to be saying that, so I said, "You should get sober," which pissed them off because now apparently I'm preaching to them and trying to force my ideas on them or whatever. Anyway, it was an annoying situation and I've had similar ones since, so I generally tried to avoid them. Going back to the question I asked in the beginning, which I may not have answered satisfactorily thus far. What's it like being sober? Well, sobriety is chips and cheese. It's a mug of green tea with honey an hour before your 10 o'clock bedtime. It's a new pair of Adidas. Sobriety is Carlo Ancelotti dancing with Vinicius Jr. It's standing up too fast and getting a head rush, but not fainting. Sobriety is the 5-second rule. It's no Nut November. It's normality.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then I'm gonna feed them.